So let's get started. Good evening. Let me first introduce myself. I am Professor Salehi. I am the graduate director of the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering. So basically what I have to do and what my job description tells me is that I have to make sure that the graduate program goes very smoothly in the department and you have a good experience here pursuing your degree. And at the same time, I want to make sure that the program is a valid program and everything is followed according to the rules and regulations of the department. Before getting started, of course, first I want to welcome you to the Department of Electrical Engineering. It is your home department, and you have tried hard to be admitted to the department, and I have to congratulate you for getting admitted to the department and welcome you again. And I want to also introduce to you some of my colleagues that are here, and they will also make presentations after I'm done. First, I want to introduce Jesse Walsh, who is the person that you most often see in the department. He's your main interface to the department, and he's the graduate director. He's the student coordinator in the department. Graduate director is me. It's too early. I want to also introduce Natalie Rosso, and Natalie is the liaison of the department in the College of Engineering. So between Jesse and Natalie, all the problems are solved. You know, if it is at the college level, Natalie will resolve the problem and address the problem or the question. And if it is at the department level, Jesse will help you with that. In addition to that, I want to also introduce to you Rachel Walsh. Rachel Walsh is the co-op coordinator at the Department of Electrical Engineering, taking the responsibility of the graduate co-op. So all of you who want to go on co-op or internship working in industry, you have to interface with Rachel. Rachel will help you with materials that are related to co-op and will help you with that. So I want to make sure that everybody can hear me well in the back rows. Yeah? You can hear me well. Okay, that's good. Okay. After this introduction, I want to get started with introducing the program to you. My goal today is to introduce the basic rules of the program, what you will see in the college, introduce you the department, what are the graduate programs in the department, what is the standing of the department, give you some statistics. There is a lot of information here, but the good news is that we have a document online that you can go to that document and find responses to many questions that you might have. And that's very important here. So let's get started with introducing the department and the programs that we have at the graduate level. At the graduate level, the department has 3 programs, and you must be at this point in one of those 3 programs. MS in Electrical and Computer Engineering, MS ECE for short, PhD in Electrical Engineering, PhD EE, and PhD in Computer Engineering, PhD CE. So these are the 3 graduate programs that the department currently has. All of these programs, or any of these programs, can be pursued either as a full-time or a part-time student. First, I want to see if there are any part-time students here. Are there any part-time? Okay, so we have one part-time student. Okay. So any of these programs can be pursued as full-time or part-time student. Master program, MS ECE, can be pursued in 2 tracks. The course thesis track, MST, or the course-only track, MSc. Course thesis track, of course, they have to pass a thesis, and course-only track is based only on taking courses and graduating. PhD students can enter the PhD program either with a BS degree, then we call them BS entry PhD students or just PhD students, or they can enter the program with an MS degree, then they are called advanced entry. Are there any PhD students that are BS entry here? Yeah, there are some students who are BS entry, and of course some MS entry here. Courses, the course structure in the department is that almost all of our courses are 4 semester hours. There are very few courses that are not 4 semester hours, and you will see them. They are very special type of courses. But we can say that almost all of our courses are 4 semester hours. The full-time load is 8 semester hours. That is 2 courses per semester. This is the typical load of an MS or PhD student. And for part-time students, the typical load is 1 course per semester, or 4 semester hours. Keep in mind that international students who are on an F1 visa, must at any time be full-time students, except during the summer semester. During the summer semester, they have the freedom of not taking any courses. But during other semesters, they have to be full-time students. They have to be registered as full-time students. Now, let me introduce to you our graduate program, where we're standing at this point. Our department is proud that runs a graduate program that is essentially a research-based program. Our annual research expenditure is $17 million, and our current funding is $53 million in the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering. We publish over 200 articles in professional journals, very prestigious journals annually, and we present over 300 papers in international conferences. Last year, we graduated 40 PhD students, and over MS students are graduated annually on the average. Currently, we have roughly 255 PhD students in our department and 320 roughly MS students. The faculty in our department consists of 60 full-time and 21 affiliated and adjunct professors. And you will see all types of expertise across the board of electrical engineering among these professors. You can hardly find an area that is not covered in the department. And we're continuously expanding our research infrastructure, and in order to do that, we need your help. Actually, you're basically helping here to get a degree and to do research to expand our research. You're our help in doing the research here. So what we need at this point, and that's why we need the best students across the world, and you are among them who have been admitted to this program. We need graduate students with strong research and presentation and publication skills that can help the department with achieving its goals, its research goals. A lot of research activities in the department, but not all of it, is focused in certain centers, is carried out in certain centers, and I want to introduce some of the research centers of the department. Some of these centers are are centered in the department, and some of them shared with other departments. One of these is, and probably the oldest one here, is the Gordon Center for Subsurface Sensors and Imaging Systems, or SENSIS. This is a center that started by being funded by NSF. This is one of the excellence centers of National Science Foundation, NSF, Engineering Research Center, ERC, one of those programs. And a lot of research activity is going on in this research, and as the name suggests, it's basically looking in the hidden work. Their motto is looking in the hidden work. They want to find objects that are not, or sense objects that are not on the surface. So it can be underground, it can be underwater, it can be in the body, and sensing and finding those objects. Center for Awareness and Localization of Explosive-Related Threats, or ALERT, is a center that is funded by the Department of Homeland Security. As the name suggests, it's looking for danger, actually, for explosive-related threats that can be anywhere. Northeastern University Center for Electrical Energy Research of course, the focus is on power engineering. Center for High-Rate Nanomanufacturing, CHN. This is a center that is between Department of Electrical Engineering and Mechanical Engineering. And this is also an NSF-funded ERC engineering research centers. Center for Microwave Magnetic Materials and Integrated Circuits in the department. Institute for Information Assurance. This is an institute which is between the Department of Electrical Engineering and College of Computer Science, focusing on cybersecurity. Institute for Complex Scientific Software, again, between our department and College of Computer Science. And the newest addition to this center, Center for Ultra-Wide Area Resilient Electrical Energy Transmission Networks, or CURRENT. This is a multi-university center funded by NSF, and the focus, as the name suggests, is on electrical energy transmission and safety of security safety of these systems. Now, before going into the details of the programs and the requirements of each programs, I want to make sure that one thing is well understood here. We have a document that we call it GPG. This is called Graduate Program Guide. And I want to emphasize that you need to download and read this document. This basically tells you everything about the graduate program and all the rules and regulations that you have to know to have a successful presence in the department, to succeed in your program. Graduate Program Guide is your friend. It has answers to almost all of your questions. So if you have any question, if you're in doubt, the first point to study is the Graduate Program Guide. I cannot emphasize this more than this. You need to get the Graduate Program Guide and look through it. The Graduate Program Guide for this year is not yet ready. It will be put on the website on Tuesday next week. But I give you the address, and please, on Tuesday, go to that address and download the latest version of it and read it carefully. You need to know the material that is in there to have a successful duration of study here. How you go to that? The link is given here. This short link is given here. You can go to this link, and after going to this link, you can download the Graduate Program Guide, the GPG. If you go to this link, you will go to this page, a page like this, and you have to find the Graduate Program Guide corresponding to your year. For your year, you're entering the program in 2018-19. Therefore, this is your Graduate Program Guide. You have to download this, and as I told you, it's not ready at this point. It will be ready on Tuesday. Okay? So you will find the Graduate Program Guide here. These are previous Graduate Program Guides. Okay? So you have to look at the one that corresponds to you. In order to go to this page, to this general page, this is the link for that page. This is the one that I put on the previous page. So make sure that you download the Graduate Program Guide after it is uploaded and go through it carefully, know it, and refer to it whenever you have a question and you want an answer to, or in general, whenever you're in doubt. It is the first start. Now a little bit about the program requirements. The details of all of what I say today is in the Graduate Program Guide. As you know, the department at the MS level has 7 concentrations. These concentrations are Communication Control and Signal Processing, CCSP, Computer Networks and Security, CNWS, Computer Systems and Software, CSYS, Computer Vision, Machine Learning and Algorithms, CVLA, Electromagnetics, Plasma and Optics, ELPO, Microsystems, Materials and Devices, MSMD, and Power Systems, Power Electronics and Motion Control, or Power. So you should know at this point which concentration you are in. If you are an MS student, you're already in one of these concentrations. and you're in one track. Track basically means that you are in course only or thesis. So there is a track and there is a concentration, and as an MS student, you should know which track and concentration you are in. Now, for PhD students, it is a little bit different. If you're PhD advanced entry, that is, you're entering the PhD program with an MS degree, then if you're a PhD CE student, you're in the computer engineering concentration, which is a general concentration, taking everything in computer engineering under its wings. And if you are a PhD EE student, you're in one of these concentrations, one of the 4 concentrations, CCSP, LPO, MSMD, or power. That depends on the area that you're doing research in or your advisor does research. This is decided by you and your advisor, which concentration you're working on. If you're PhD BS entry, then first you have to finish MS degree and then move to this stage. You become a PhD advanced entry, right? Now, if you're a PhD in BS entry, then your BS part, your MS part, is one of the 7 concentrations, as we saw before. If your master's degree is in CNWS, CSYS, or CVLA, you're a PhD CE. So if you're a PhD CE, your master part is in one of these concentrations that are related to computers. And if you're a PhD EE, your master program is in one of the remaining 4 concentrations that are not computer engineering type programs. After finishing your MS, then all computer engineering students will be collectively in the computer engineering program, regardless of whether their master was CSYS or CVLA or CNWS. They will be in computer engineering now in the PhD part, pretty much like this case. Okay. Now, course structure, I want to introduce 3 notions here that are very important to understand: depth courses, breadth courses, and excluded courses. Okay. Each concentration has a list of courses that are known as depth courses for that concentration. These are courses that provide depth of knowledge in that particular concentration. So, for example, if you are in CCSP, there is a list of, say, 25 courses that are considered to be depth courses for that concentration. If you are in CNWS, you have another list of depth courses for that concentration, etc., etc. For each of the 7 concentrations, there is a list of depth courses. Now, these depth courses can be ECE courses or can be non-ECE courses. For example, if you are in computer engineering related concentrations like CSYS or CNWS or CVLA, there are a lot of computer science courses that are also depth for you. Okay. So depth courses can be ECE courses and can be non-ECE courses. And another point which is very important is that there are courses that are depth for multiple concentrations. You know, for example, applied probability and stochastic processes is depth for CCSP, communication control signal processing, as well as depth course for, I think, CNWS, probably, yeah, something like that. But anyway, it is possible that certain courses are depth courses for multiple concentrations. One thing that I'm sure is that linear systems, for example, is depth course for CCSP and for power at the same time. Okay. Now, this is the notion of depth courses. So you have to look at your concentration to see what courses are depth courses for you. Now, what are breadth courses? This is a little bit trickier. Breadth courses are courses that basically are not in your concentration. They provide breadth of knowledge for you, not depth of knowledge in your concentration. And you have to take certain number of breadth courses. In fact, we don't want you to be too narrow in your concentration. You have to have also some breadth of knowledge in other concentrations as well. Now, there are different types of breadth courses. Any course, any graduate level course that is not a depth course for your concentration can potentially be a breadth course for you. Okay? So any course that is not depth for you can potentially be a breadth course for you. Now, if this course happens to be depth for another concentration, you can take it without any problem, as long as it's not depth for you. You can take it with no problem. No petition is required if it is depth for another concentration. So for example, if you are in CCSP, and there is a depth course, for example, in CNWS, that is not depth for you, you can take it without any petition, without asking permission. You can go ahead and take it as your breadth course. Okay. But for example, if you are in CCSP, you cannot say that because linear systems is depth for power, I will take it as breadth, because it is also depth for you. Anything that is depth for you, you cannot take it as breadth. Okay. So any course that is not depth for you can be potentially taken as a breadth course, as long as it is a graduate course. If it's depth for another concentration, you can go ahead and take it without asking permission, without filing a petition. But if it is not depth for another concentration, and this is usually for courses that are outside department, you have to file a petition. You have to ask permission before taking the course. And if your petition is approved, you can take the course as a breadth course. Okay? So that basically explains it, how breadth courses are taken. It's important to file a petition before registration in the course. You have to first file a petition. After your petition is approved, then you can register in that course. Now, excluded courses, as the name suggests, are courses that you cannot take as your part of your program. For different reasons. Okay, first, one reason could be we don't think that these courses can help you with your program. Or second reason could be that for certain courses, we think that we are offering a course equivalent to that, which is more in line with what we want you to learn. Okay. So what are excluded courses? First, any course for multidisciplinary master programs, and these are computer systems engineering, energy systems, engineering, entrepreneurship, etc., etc. These courses you cannot take as part of your program. These are excluded courses. And in addition to these courses, there is also a list of excluded courses that you can find in the GPG. So those courses you cannot take as part of your MS program. Now, sometimes one student can ask, can I take this course in general? Yes, you can take any course that you want. But these courses will not count as part of your program, part of the requirements of your program. If you're interested in history, you can go and take a course in history. Okay? But we won't count it as part of your program. Okay? So this is the notion of excluded courses, courses that are excluded. Okay. Now, requirements. Now, let's start with MSc program. MSc means MS course only. For students who are in the MS course only program, it is very straightforward. They take 8 courses and they graduate. 32 semester hours, because each course is 4 semester hours, right? With 8 courses, you graduate. You have to have a GPA of 3 at least. There are certain other rules, but basically it is 8 courses for graduation. But there is a certain structure that you have to follow. From these 8 courses that you take, at least 5 courses must be depth in your concentration. You have to take at least 5 depth courses in your concentration. And you have to take at least 2 courses which are breadth. That is, they are outside your concentration. Okay? So 5 and 2 is 7. How about the 8th one? 8th one can be inside or outside your concentration. Can be depth or breadth. Therefore, you can take 6 depth, 2 breadth, or you can take 5 depth, 3 breadth. Both are acceptable. Now, there is another rule. Basically, if you are in CCSP, ELPO, MSMD, or power concentrations, at least 6 courses that you take must be ECE courses. You can take at most 2 courses outside the department, but 6 courses must be inside the department. If you're in computer engineering related concentrations, that is CVLA, CSYS, and CNWS, at least 5 courses must be inside the department. You can take 3 courses outside the department. The reason for that is that these programs have a lot in common with computer science. Therefore, they want to take more courses from the computer science department. So they are allowed to take more courses from the computer science department. And of course, no courses can be taken from the excluded courses. So this is for MSc. It is very straightforward for the MSc program. For MST program, you have to complete a thesis and take some courses. It is a combination of thesis and courses. So you have to take 6 graduate level courses, that is 24 semester hours, because each course is 4 semester hours. 6 graduate level courses is 24 semester hours. And in addition to that, you have to complete 8 semester hours of master thesis, MS thesis. So again, you have 32 semester hours, but in the course-only case, it is 8 courses. Now it is 6 courses plus a thesis. Now here, the rules are that at least 3 courses must be depth courses, and at least 1 course in this case must be breadth course. 3 and 1 is 4. The 2 other courses can be depth or breadth. And at least 3 courses must be ECE courses for you, for MST students. The other 3 courses can be outside the department. So you have more flexibility for this, because when you're doing thesis, you sometimes need to take more flexibility, courses that are related to your research, you have to take those courses. And again, you cannot take excluded courses in this case. So this is MST. Now, how about PhD? If you're entering the PhD program as an advanced entry student, that is, you already hold an MS degree, the requirement is very, very low, actually. You have to take only 4 courses. The course requirement is very low. Of course, you have a dissertation in front of you to have to complete. That's the big part of the program. But the course requirement is very low. Only 4 courses, 16 semester hours. And the only requirement is that at least 2 courses must be ECE courses. From these 4 courses, at least 2 courses must be ECE courses. But practically, because when you are in the PhD program, you're going to be here 4 or 5 years, our PhD students take many, many more courses, because they want to get the skills that are offered in those courses. So our PhD students typically take 6, 7, 8 courses rather than just the 4 courses here. So this is the PhD for advanced entry. How about BS entry? BS entry students, PhD students, BS entry PhD students, first have to complete the master requirements. Whether they complete the requirements for master course only or master with thesis depends on recommendation of their advisor. If your advisor tells you master with thesis, in most cases they want that, you go that direction. If it is course only, you go in that direction. It depends on what your advisor recommends to you. So first you follow either MSc or MST requirements, and after having these requirements, having finished these requirements, you have the 16 semester hours after MS that you have to complete, like advanced entry students. Requirements are, again, the same thing as advanced entry students. Now let me give you an example to clarify these points. Let's assume that you are an MSc student in computer control and signal processing. Okay? MSc means course-only path, and you're in computer control and signal processing. And you're looking at 2 possible plans for yourself. plan A and plan B for the courses that you want to take. Let's look at these to see which one is okay, which one is not okay, or maybe both are okay. So let's look at plan A. Applied probability, linear systems, digital communications, modern signal processing, statistical and adaptive signal processing. Let's assume that this student, wireless communications, VLSI design, and a course in computer science 5200, Introduction to Database Design. Now let's see if the requirements are satisfied here or not. You have to take at least 5 depth courses. In fact, in this particular case for this plan, courses 1 through 6 are depth courses for CCSP. If you go to the GPG and look at the list of depth courses, you see that all these courses, applied probability, linear system, digital communications, modern signal processing, statistical and adaptive signal processing, and wireless communication are depth courses. So in fact, you have 6 depth courses here. That's fine. You're all set with depth course required. VLSI design is an MSMD course. And it's not a depth course for CCSP. Therefore, it satisfies the breadth requirement. You have to take 2 breadth courses. So it satisfies that. And CS 5200, Introduction to Database, is a course that you have taken from outside the department. And it is also a breadth course, can be counted as a breadth course if you have the petition for that, file the petition for that, and it is granted. So you have 6 depth, 2 breadth courses, you're fine. Plan A is a good plan. Now let's look at plan B. Plan B, the first 5 courses are exactly copied from here. So the first 5 courses are exactly like this. And then the student has filed a petition and got approval for taking a graduate course in biology. It was approved. And he has also taken a graduate course in physics. Now he's thinking about the 8th course that he has to take. So the first thing that he contemplates taking is CS 6100, web development. And this doesn't work. And the reason for that is that if you go and look at the excluded courses, you see that this is an excluded course. So since web development is an excluded course, it cannot be taken. So that's out of the question. This is not a good schedule. Now let's see what is the other alternative. The other alternative is to copy this course, take this course here, to see if this would work or not. It looks like it will work, but in practice it doesn't work. The reason is that, if you remember, students in CCSP can take at most 2 courses outside the department. And this student now has 3 courses outside the department: biology, physics, and computer science. So this wouldn't work. So this student has to take the other course, because he has already taken 2 courses outside the department. The other course that he takes must be an ECE course. Must take an ECE course to graduate. Okay. So hopefully this helps you understanding the requirements of the program. Now, co-op and internship, I think Rachel will explain that in detail, so I won't go over it. It's basically going to industry, getting some skills at industry for PhD and MS students. Internship is for PhD students. Co-op is for both PhD and MS students, and you will get more information about that, requirements for that, later when Rachel has her presentation. Now, in a lot of times you want to make changes to your program. I want to explain when you can do the changes and when you cannot do the changes. Changes in the program can be requested only after you finish your first semester here at Northeastern. So at this point, you cannot make any changes in your program. We want you to be in your program at least for 1 semester, know the environment better. Don't rush to any judgment to make changes in your program. After that, you can ask for changes in your program. The only change that is possible in the first semester is changing from full-time to part-time or part-time to full-time. This is possible in the first semester. No other changes are possible in the first semester. As we will explain and you will see in the GPG, there are certain changes that can be done by only filing a petition. Some other changes are more profound changes, and for that you have to go through apply yourself procedure, the same way that you applied to the program. One of the most common type of changes that students ask for is change of concentration. For change of concentration, the first condition is that you must have a GPA of at least 3 to file for change of concentration. And you have only 2 chances for change of concentration. One is at the end of your first semester here at Northeastern, and one at the end of the second semester at Northeastern. If you don't make any change to your concentration at these 2 opportunities, you cannot do it later. Okay. So at the end of first semester, usually Jesse sends an email asking for those who want to make changes in their concentration at the end of the first semester and at the end of the second semester. And you can do at the end of each semester, but if it is your first semester or second semester, you can apply for change of concentration. Otherwise, you cannot. And you have to keep in mind that only a small fraction of applications for change of concentration get approved. It depends on, a lot depends on your GPA, your academic performance, the courses that you have taken in the first or second semester that you have been here, and the destination concentration. Are there any room available in the destination concentration? And it has to be approved by your destination concentration to make that change. Change from MSc to MST, Master of Science course only, Master of Science with thesis. If you want to make these changes, you must have the approval of a faculty member who will be your thesis advisor. He or she must tell you that I will accept this student as my MS student, and I will advise his thesis to be able to make this change. Changes from part-time to full-time, full-time to part-time, and MST to MSc, MS thesis to MS course only, can be done by just filing a petition. These are the easiest type of changes that can be done here. But changes from MSc or MST to PhD, or between PhD EE or PhD CE, they require going through apply yourself again. In addition to filing a petition, you have to go through apply yourself and apply for the change to that. All of the details are in the GPG. So everything here has a lot of details in it. So you can go to the GPG and find it. Now, how to file a petition? Jesse, are you going to say about that, or I have to?
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay. So Jesse will tell you. Basically, there is a link in the GPG. You go there, you complete the petition, and each petition that you send must be accompanied by your transcript, by your current transcript, and you send this to Jesse, and he will take care of that. Also, registration override. Are you going to cover that, or? Yeah. Okay. Registration override is there are certain courses that when you want to register in those courses, you see that you cannot register in those courses. And you need a registration override. You need the permission of the instructor. Maybe you don't have the prerequisite for that course. Maybe that course is full, etc., etc. And then you have to file a registration override form to get into that course. So I think Natalie will tell you about that. Now, what should be your first steps here for a successful transition to the graduate program in the department? If you have a research advisor, this is for PhD students and MST students. MST students usually do not have a research advisor at this point, but PhD students must have a research advisor at this point. Are there any PhD students here who do not have a research advisor? Okay, so it doesn't have. Okay, that's good. So PhD students all know their research advisor. You have to contact your research advisor. You have to talk to him or her, to your research advisor, and plan a program of study with your research advisor. For MSc students who do not have a research advisor, or if there are any PhD students who do not have a research advisor, they should find a research advisor. That's your first step. That's the most important step. You have to go to different people, faculty members who you're interested in their research and you think you have the right background for doing the type of research that they are conducting. Introduce yourself and ask them to be your research advisor if they have openings in their research group, and hopefully something will come up. So you have to contact as many people as possible. You have to take courses, and in the courses that you take, see what you're interested in and contact them. If you need to make changes in your courses, and this should be fall courses, not spring courses, if you want to make changes in your current courses, talk to your research advisor first if you have a research advisor. If you don't have a research advisor, make an appointment with Jesse and talk to Jesse. But until the change is done, go to your classes. Go to both classes, to the classes that you're taking already and the class that you want to take, you want to change it with, so that you don't miss any classes in between. Get my NU account and register online for courses. I think all of you have done that already. Make sure to check your Husky email as often as you can, because that's the only way that we communicate with you. Your Husky email is the only email that is your official email, and we will send email to that. We don't send email to your Gmail or Yahoo email, etc. If you have another email that you check it very regularly, make sure that your Husky email is forwarded to that email. When you want to communicate with us, two things that are very important. First, when you're communicating with us, use your Husky email to communicate. And second, when you're communicating with us, use your formal name. If you have a lot of students have an American name, that's not your formal name. Use the name that appears on your credentials, on your ID card, or on your transcripts. And more importantly, download and read the GPG. This is very important. I have already told you to find an advisor if you don't have an advisor. Another very important point is that the financial support, for those of you who are receiving financial support, RA, TA, and fellowship, the financial support is tied to your research progress. Your advisor must be very satisfied with your progress to make sure that this is continued. This will be continued. Your financial support will be continued. So make sure that you progress well in your research. Make sure that you know all the rules and regulations that are given in the GPG. You are responsible for following the rules and regulations. We try to help you. We try to send you reminders. But basically, it is you that is responsible for making sure that everything goes well. And finally, your academic performance is very important. If it happens that your GPA falls below 3.0, then you will be under probation. And if you are for 2 semesters under probation, that is, you have a GPA below 3.0, then you would be terminated. I'm sure that this will not happen to you, but it's better to know the rules before something happens. One thing that is very important for international students, and in many areas we can help you, but in this area, this is one of those areas that unfortunately we cannot help you that much, is that follow the rules of immigration and naturalization services closely. If you're in doubt, go to the OGS and ask about your status. These are strictly enforced. INS rules are strictly enforced. And if you fall out of status, you could jeopardize your studies here. These are very important. And unfortunately, as I told you, these are not areas that we can help you with. Maintain full-time registration. Holders of F1 visa must be full-time all the time. If your visa is expiring, make arrangements for renewal of your visa in advance, and well in advance, months before that. Go to OGS and apply for extension of your visa. If you need to travel outside the US for going to your own country or attending a conference, make sure that you have arranged for a re-entry visa. Again, very important. External employment can only be done through co-op or internship programs. International students cannot seek external employment other than co-op and internship. Make sure that you coordinate through Rachel if you want to go on co-op and internship. And when you're in doubt, please ask. First, go to GPG. If still you cannot get the information that you want from the GPG, Jesse is here, can answer your questions. Rachel, questions about co-op, and Natalie, questions at the college level. Please ask questions if you're in doubt. Don't do something that make sure that you know the rules and you follow the rules. And if you're in doubt, please ask people here that can help you. And at the end, I want to welcome you again to the ECE department. And I wish you the best for a successful experience at Northeastern. We want you to be happy. We want you to be successful. And we want you to have a good experience here. If there is anything that we can do for you, please tell us. We're here to help you. GPG is your friend. Download it and use it again and again and again. If you have any question, go to the GPG. And if GPG doesn't answer your questions, we're here to help you. We're here to answer those questions. And your feedback is very much appreciated. We would like to hear your feedback. This is what I wanted to tell you. And now I can ask Rachel to come here and introduce the co-op program for you. At the end of the presentations by Rachel and by Natalie and by Jesse, we will have question and answer session here. Oh, by the way.
Oh, okay, awesome. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome again. My name is Rachel Walsh from the Co-op Department. I'm going to give you a brief overview of our program and how you can get involved with it. Before I do that, how many of you at this point are interested in participating in co-op? Quite a few. Great. Look forward to working with you. So to start off, first of all, what is co-op and what are the benefits of participating in it? So you'll get to work full-time in your chosen industry. So a lot of colleges have programs where maybe you're working part-time in addition to taking classes. That's not what we do here. You're working full-time, sort of alternating between classwork and industry work as a way to fully get immersed in your industry and gain that full-time experience. This will greatly improve your resume when you graduate and are out looking for full-time positions. You'll develop job search and interviewing skills that you'll take with you throughout your career. You'll apply what you've been learning in classrooms through your undergraduate, maybe back even into high school, and apply it to real-world settings. You'll get a chance to grow and develop skills personally and professionally. Maybe this will be your first time working in a professional workplace. It's a great way to sort of integrate into that sort of life change before you get out into a permanent position. And make connections and build your professional network, which is so important to carry with you throughout your career. So through the co-op program, you'll work with a co-op coordinator. That's what I do here. And some of the tasks I take on are to teach the Intro to Co-op class, which I'll talk more about, advise you through the co-op search process, and also provide support while you're out on co-op. So if you have any questions while you're out working, you can always reach out to us for support. I'll guide you through the process of obtaining work authorization for international students. That's extremely important. And I also work with employers in Boston and around the country to develop opportunities. We have a database called NU Careers where we post positions that employers are providing directly to Northeastern students. So you'll get access to that as part of the co-op program. So I'd like to quickly introduce my teammates who are here today, Allie Joyce and Josie Flanagan. They work with both undergraduate and graduate students in ECE. So at the point when you become eligible to search for a co-op, which we'll talk about, you'll receive an advisor assignment at that time. Right. Speaking of which, there are some requirements to meet in order to be eligible for co-op. You'll hear a lot more about this through the Intro to Co-op class, but I want to make you aware of it now so you can start thinking about it. So first of all, again, is to take the Intro to Co-op course. These are the sections I'll be teaching this fall. How many people are already registered for Intro to Co-op? Quite a few, great. So if you're not, the Tuesday class is full and we will probably not have additional space. The Wednesday class is also full, but if you're interested in being on the wait list for that, you can do that through My Northeastern, and there's a possibility there may be a few more spots there. So you do need to have a GPA of 3.2 or higher in order to begin a co-op search. So that's something to keep in mind as you go through your first semester. For international students, we do have a language proficiency requirement, a TOEFL score of 90 or higher, or an IELTS score of 7 or higher. If you're interested in participating in co-op but don't have that minimum requirement, then you would need to retake the exam and submit your new score to us. No previous co-ops, so it is one co-op per student. And once you become eligible, you'll receive communication from us regarding the co-op application and when to come meet with us. You do need to have approval from the co-op department in order to begin searching for a position. All right, so in that Intro to Co-op class, we're going to cover a lot of different topics intended to help you be successful in your job search and also while you're out working. So it's a very practical course. So resumes, cover letters, LinkedIn, you'll create all of those documents. Networking, you'll have a chance to practice that both in class among your peers, and you'll also attend a networking event outside of class, apply those skills. Interviewing we'll spend a lot of time on, and you'll have several different opportunities to practice that. Job search strategies, we'll talk about professionalism, things like communication and ethics in the workplace, workplace culture and making that transition to a professional environment, work authorization policies and procedures, and career planning. And this will all help you both in your co-op search and experience, and also you can take it with you, as you go into your full-time careers. So in terms of planning for co-op in the scope of your program, for PhD students, you have some flexibility on timing since you'll be here for longer. So the requirements are that you need to have a year of coursework completed before you begin working, and you need to have at least one semester remaining to come back to campus after the co-op. For master's students, if you want to look for a co-op, you should take the class in either your first or second semester. And then you can do your co-op after either your second or your third semester. So those same guidelines where you have a year of work completed before you start your co-op, and you have at least one semester to come back to. For the length of the co-op, the most common is 6 months. That's sort of the foundation of the co-op program across the university. And that would take place either January to June or July to December. Grad students also have the option of working for 4 months. This usually takes place in the summer. Sometimes students really want to graduate on time, don't want to stretch out their program longer, maybe want to work only in the summer. That's fine, you can do that. It can be spring or fall as well. You can also work for 8 months, so the full spring and summer semesters, or summer and fall. Here's a list of just a few of our ECE employers. There are many more, and it's sort of a mix of, very big name national and international companies, and also local companies. Even, a lot of students will choose to work at, 3-person startups. There are endless opportunities available to you. Additional information, many students will choose to stay in the Boston area. There are, of course, many opportunities in the city and in the Boston area. If you are willing and able to drive outside of the city, it does open up more opportunities. Typical pay is $22 to $27 per hour. Of course, that depends. Somewhere like Amazon is going to be much higher. And I already mentioned our NU Careers database, which you'll have access to once you're eligible. So at this point, as you're starting out in your program, there are some things you can do to make sure you're ready when it comes time to start applying. So one thing is to start thinking about your resume and what experiences you can have on there: academic, leadership, from undergrad, and from here at Northeastern as you get started. Start thinking about what it is you want to do, even where you might want to work. Start exploring companies. Start looking around online, see what kinds of job descriptions appeal to you. Anything you can do to give yourself a head start in the search can help. All right. So thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, and I will see some of you in class.
Which one's mine? This one's mine? Yeah. Cool. Well, hello everyone. I just want to welcome you all here again today. We're very excited to have you here. Bye, co-op team. And I know that I've emailed with a few of you, but I want to introduce myself again. I'm Natalie Russo. I'm going to be your Grad Student Services Advisor during your time here, and I'm really excited to work with you all. So welcome. So a few things that I will be your point of contact for. As Professor Slahy mentioned, I work very close with Jesse, and we are your go-to team to field your questions and direct you like everywhere else into the department and the college and beyond. So the main things that I will help you with are course registration. So as Professor Slahey mentioned, those petition forms and those overrides, like I'm your go-to to sign off on those and help you get into the classes you want and make the case for them. Your graduation requirements. I go through all of your grad clearance. So when it comes time to count up how many breadth and depth courses you have and what counts and what doesn't, I'm the person doing that. So if you have any questions about your graduation requirements, you can come to me about that. I also deal with students on academic probation. I work with the doctoral students in their funding for those research and teaching assistantships, Fulbright scholars, and other fellowships. I also am going to be, oh God, this fly, sorry, will be emailing you throughout the semester, so please be sure to read my emails when I send them out. There's usually timely reminders for deadlines, including ad drop and other important reminders, also events and opportunities throughout the year. And I serve as one of your other academic SAVIS contacts. So international students who are considering going on a co-op or an internship opportunity, you'll work with me to make sure that you're academically approved and okay to go. So if you are an international student, the Office of Global Services should be a familiar point for you at this moment. We also call this office OGS, so if you hear us using OGS, this is the office we're referring to. They work with students on F1 and J1 visas. They provide information on student employment mainly regarding the CPT and OPT opportunities. They also host a number of events throughout the year, so I encourage you, if you are part of the international student community, engage with them and connect, because you'll not only meet peers within the college, but within the whole university. So I'm going to talk to you about the resources I can make available to you through the Office of Graduate Student Services, your responsibilities as a grad student here, and additional assistance that we can provide. So I should have mentioned this earlier, but you'll be receiving the PowerPoint slides after orientation sometime next week, and we're also recording this, so you can go back and listen to this presentation for the information you might have not caught. But in the next few slides, I'm going to be talking about different websites that will be useful to you during your entire career here. So make sure that once you get these slides, to go back, get into these links and bookmark them. Because even though the information I'm telling you right now might not be super relevant, I know you're like fresh and just excited to start classes, when you're thinking about your coursework and other issues that might come up for academic planning, you want to be able to have the resources right there for you. So your My Northeastern portal is something you should all be familiar with. You use it for your course registration. You can access your email, your tuition, Blackboard, your Husky card, and a lot more. So I encourage you to familiarize yourself with this resource. The registrar's office is an important office on campus because they maintain your academic records and also manage your course registration. So if you ever have issues registering for a course, there are instructions on this website. Also, if you're trying to add and drop a course, you can learn how to do that from this website as well. The Graduate Student Catalog is also an important resource in addition to the GPG. So I would encourage you to look at both when you're looking at your different concentrations and program requirements. You can find that here on the catalog. Also, you can find the college's academic policies and procedures, the Code of Student Conduct, and the Student's Bill of Academic Rights and Responsibilities. As a graduate student, it is your responsibility to know these policies, so I encourage you to familiarize yourself with them. The university calendar is another important resource. I just want to highlight a few dates that are up and coming. September 5th, you should all be excited for your first day of classes. You all are, right? It's the end of the day. September 18th is the last day to add a class, so if you're still trying to figure out which courses you are intending on taking, the 18th is the absolute last day to add. So make sure you have at least 2 courses in your planner before this date. And then the 25th is the last day to drop a class with a full refund or without a W grade. So make sure that you're staying on top of these dates as well as while you're thinking about your course registration. Also, October 8th is a Monday, and that is a holiday. You will not have classes. Yay, nay, maybe. People. So another important resource is the graduate student forms. This page can be found on our the Graduate Student Services website. You'll familiarize yourself with it because you'll be going to it for the petition forms and the graduate registration forms. So if you're interested in signing up for a thesis section, dissertation section, you will use this form right here. Also for registration override requests, while you're registering for classes, if you receive an error saying program restriction or college restriction, that usually indicates that this course requires you to get permission if it's outside of your program or if it's offered within a different college, like say, for example, the College of Computer Information Sciences. You would need a registration override form to make that happen. The petition form, I'm not going to go over this too much because I believe Jesse's covering it. Or do you want me to go over it a little bit? So while you're planning for your courses, you want to make sure that if you're considering a course outside of your curriculum requirements, that you're thinking about this early on, because you don't want to register for a course and then not get permission for it to count towards your graduation requirements if that's what you're intending. So looking ahead before you register, thinking about courses that might not fit into the curriculum, you want to download this form and fill it out. Make sure you're meeting with your faculty advisor, talking to him or her about whether or not this course would be a good fit. And then you can deliver it to 130 Snell. All the forms that I mentioned earlier, you would deliver a hard copy to my office in 130 Snell, and we'll work to get those approved for you. And then once you receive approval for taking a course outside of your curriculum or any other related instance, you would get an email from our office either approving or denying that request, and then you can move forward. So as a grad student, I mentioned you're responsible for knowing the academic policies and procedures, but you're also responsible for knowing your academic requirements of the college. So the first is that you complete your degree program by meeting all the requirements specified within the graduate student catalog, so know those well. You must have a cumulative grade point average of 3.0, which is a B average for your entire curriculum to maintain good academic standing. If you dip below that, I'll talk about academic probation in one moment, but you must receive a C or better in all required core courses. And then you must have a cumulative no more than 8 semester hours below a grade of B- for your program. So that is 2 courses in your entire graduate career. So as I mentioned, to maintain good standing, you need a cumulative GPA of 3.0. So if you dip below that at any point, what happens is you will receive an email from either me or Jesse saying, hey, we noticed that your GPA was below this threshold this semester. You need to come in and meet with me to discuss an academic plan and also meet with your faculty advisor. So we work with you to create a plan along with your faculty advisor that then gets approved by the ECE department for moving forward. So then hopefully after that semester you work through that plan and you succeed, you're off academic probation. If you do not follow the plan, or if the plan does not go as planned and your GPA does not get back above a 3.0, you are then dismissed from the university, but you can submit a petition to apply to come back for one more term. So it's on a case-by-case basis, and we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, but just know that a 3.0 is required to maintain good academic standing. So assistance. As I mentioned, I can help you with course registration. And I prematurely mentioned the override form. So this would be a case where you would need the override form. So if this course that you wanted to get into had a program restriction, you would submit an override form, request to my office. You would have an option of submitting the field of study or program restriction. Also, if you are considering taking a course at another college, level restriction, I don't think any of you would be interested in an undergraduate level course, but perhaps, but just know that there are many uses for this form. So online courses are V35 section. You'll see them in your schedule, but you're only eligible to take them if you're on a co-op or internship, or if you are a part-time student. You cannot take online courses if you are a full-time student in the department. So, courses outside of COE. You can register for them through your My Northeastern portal like you do with other courses. Again, you need to make sure that if you encounter registration errors, you're submitting that override form. And specifically for the CCIS courses, the College of Information Sciences, you want to make sure that you're submitting an online form as well, which can be found on their website, to petition to take the course. And then their equivalent advisor of Jesse and I will work with you to register for that course. If you have trouble locating this link at all, you can email me and I'll send it to you. So for the first 2 weeks of class, I'll be holding extended walk-in hours every day. The times vary. So on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'll be available from 1 to 4, and on Tuesday and Friday, 9 to 12 p.m. Again, I'm located in 130 Snell. If you've been to the Snell building yet, it's on the first floor, and it has a big glass wall. So if you ever walk by, stop on in, say hi. On September 18th, I'll be resuming regular walk-in hours, which are Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 2 to 4 p.m. And when you come for walk-in hours, make sure you have your NUID ready, your course information, and your any CRN if you're trying to get into a specific course section, so we can be able to talk about it and hit the ground running. If you can't come to office hours at any point, you can always reach me at n.russo@northeastern.edu. I am very responsive on email, so you can always reach me there. It's better than a phone call, I would say. And also, if you are thinking that you might need a longer appointment than a quick walk-in hour, then you can email me at least 24 hours in advance and we can schedule an appointment. Just make sure that you're including your NUID number and a clear reason for the appointment so I can best assist you. While your academics are extremely important, also your involvement within the community is also. You want to make sure that you're getting the most out of your time here, so I included some student groups on campus and resources here like the Career Development Office and the Writing Center on Campus Jobs. And to get to know the Boston community better, if you're new, I encourage you to take a look at the Boston calendar. There are a lot of events offered. Some of them are free, just to get to know your surroundings better and to explore the city. So, if you are an international student and haven't yet, registered for another orientation session, I know you have many in your first couple weeks here, please do so. There are 6 sections and you must attend one. So I believe the first one is offered tomorrow, and again, if you haven't registered, make sure you've registered for this orientation and you are going to attend. Also, attending classes is very important and connecting with the college. And then questions are for later.
All right. Hey guys, I'm going to try to keep this relatively brief. I know we've been talking about you guys for a long time, but I wanted to introduce myself real quick. My name is Jesse Marsh. I'm the departmental point of contact within the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering. Sorry. My office is located in 409 Dana. If you've been to the Dana Research Hall building, our main office is up on the 4th floor. My my room is room 409, just off that main central department area. Some of you have already met with me or contacted me already via email, but I'm happy to meet all of you, and there are just a few things that I want to go over really quickly. First of all, like I just said, my office is located at 409 Dana Research Hall. I'm going to have standard office hours on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 2 to 4 p.m. But you're welcome to email me with any questions that you have, or if you need to schedule something outside of walk-in hours, you're welcome to do that as well. During the first couple of weeks, walk-in hours, perhaps understandably, are going to be very busy. So just if you're coming to walk-in office hours, just please note that I may not have a lot of time to talk to you if there's a line of other students there. So if you want to contact me about scheduling a longer time to meet, that's fine, we'll do that. But I just want to keep things moving if there happens to be other students waiting to get like short questions answered, okay? But with that said, I want to reiterate, emails are always welcome. I love emails. I cannot get enough of them. I respond to them literally all day long. So that is probably the best way that you can get in touch with me. It's really a good way for me to answer all your questions because most of the time, even if you come in, chances are I'm going to send you an email anyway, either to put you in touch with another office or send you to somebody else that you need to speak to, or to provide you with links, say to petitions or to the graduate program guide or to the course catalog or whatever comes up. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be sending you an email anyway. So in the meantime, if you have a question that comes up between now and I don't know, anytime. That's your best bet. It's generally easier for me to send you exactly what you need with an email. In addition, my email signature contains a link to the graduate program guide. Again, to kind of back up what Masood said earlier, the GPG is your friend. It's really, really important. 9 times out of 10, your questions actually will be answered in the graduate program guide. While you might not memorize all of it right away, it's really handy to have as a reference. So if you do have a question and you think the answer might be in there, take a look, because it probably is in there. In addition, the GPG, as Masood said, is really useful in that it contains a lot of links to the types of forms that you may need. So if you need to file a petition, let's say you want to take a course that isn't listed as a breadth or a depth course, and you want to take it and have it count towards your degree requirements, and you think, where's this petition form? It's in the GPG. You can find the link that way. Again, if it's coming near the end of the semester, I'll provide links via emails when I'll be sending out to all of you. But if you're a master's student, you want to change your concentration at the end of your first or second semester, again, you'll find links within the graduate program guide, as well as further details as what the rules are and what steps you need to take. Again, most of these forms that I'm mentioning also require department signature from the Graduate Affairs Committee chair. In this case is Masood. And so a lot of these forms, if you need that signature, you can send those forms to me via email, and I'll be able to get the signature for you. I'll be able to submit it to Masood and the rest of the Graduate Affairs Committee for review. And after that, I'll either let you know if you need to stop by and pick up the forms, or chances are I'll just run the form right down to Natalie myself. I'll take it right down to the College of Engineering for you. Some of these forms will be for course overrides, as Natalie said. These are usually required when you need to take a course that requires a signature from the course instructor, or maybe permission to skip a prerequisite. These will also come to me, and also in addition, as you may have discovered, the ECE department keeps internal department wait lists for courses that fill up. So please contact me if you are unable to register for a course because the course is closed, or you see that it's a closed section, or you get a reserved closed error message. You can email me, and I can put you on a wait list for that course if that's what's happening with that course. That's pretty much it. Just a couple of extra other things. Again, to reiterate, when you are contacting me, try to include your NUID. It really helps me in terms of looking up your student information really quickly and seeing where you're at, because if you're coming to me and you're asking about degree requirements, it's really easy if you have that number for me to pull up your information and take a look at your registration history or your transcript. The number itself isn't actually on your Husky, your ID card. It's a 9-digit number that begins with 000 or 001 most likely. And that's pretty much it. Other than that, when you're sending in forms and petitions, just be sure to look over the instructions and try to remember to include a PDF of your transcripts if they're required. Again, that's something that I can pull from my end, but if it's something you need to hurry, it might be easier if you can print that up on yourselves and send it to me as a PDF. So that's pretty much it. With that said, I don't know whether have some questions.
We can open the question and answer session. If there are any questions, please feel free to ask. Yes.
So, as a master's student, like a thesis student, can you take additional courses beyond the 24 required hours? Because you mentioned PhDs could take more than the 16. So does that also apply to
Master students? Yes. I think yeah. Master students can take, but you know the rules basically, that certain courses apply towards your MS degree, some courses do not apply towards your MS degree. But beyond that, you can take other courses as well. But of course, you have to pay for that. Yeah. Questions? Yes, please.
This was just actually regarding the wait list for the course registration. I have done that for one of the courses and I'm under wait list. I have registered for that. So by when it will be confirmed, the final confirmation for the course?
Do you happen to know which course that it is?
Power system analysis.
Power systems analysis. So this is, do you remember the course number off the top of your head?
Yes.
5682?
Yeah, exactly.
That sound right? So were you on the wait list before?
Yeah.
And did I email you about giving you an override? I would email me about that again, just because I think that, so certain courses we were already able to give overrides, and I've been giving overrides to students who are on these wait lists, and I've been emailing them as I go, saying that I've been giving you an override and you've been able to register. In the case of that course, I feel like I was able to give overrides to everyone who was on the wait list. Shoot me an email, because I don't know whether I would have already contacted you.
Yes,
or whether,
you have contacted.
did I give you an override?
You said that I can register for the course.
Uh-huh.
So I have done that.
Yeah.
But a couple of days when I looked into that course particularly, it was again showing the wait list. So I'm not sure whether I'm actively into that course or I'm under the wait list.
You should be. Send me an email, and I'll be able to, tomorrow morning when I get back into the office, I should be able to check and verify that for you. So, yeah, I try to be good about actually sending out emails to students as I give them overrides. Like, I'm not just going to let you guess if you're on a wait list or something like that. And the other thing is that during these first couple of weeks, there are still people who are waiting on the wait list. I do my best during these first couple of weeks of classes before the ad deadline to kind of monitor enrollments and to give overrides to students as other people drop courses. So I'm pretty much checking these courses every day because things tend to shift and move as students decide, maybe I don't want to take this course, or maybe they're going on a co-op and they end up dropping all their classes or whatever the case may be. So it's something to keep in mind, so keep your eyes on your emails, okay?
Other questions? Okay. I can't believe we have been so clear. There are no questions.
one more question, like audit policy? So to audit a course, so I just saw it, as I think you were going through the slides. So what does that really entail? Like what does it mean to audit a course?
For auditing?
For auditing, yeah, you have to ask the permission of the instructor.
Yeah, that usually has to do with the instructor's specific permission, because it varies from case to case basis. And it also matters whether or not there's enough physical space in the course. Like the course may be full, and let's say enrollment's full, but the room is actually a little bit bigger, and if there's enough physical seats, maybe that professor would be willing to let you in. But there may be cases where there's literally no more seats in the classroom, so it's really case by case. Reach out to the instructor and see if they're, if it's allowed. And then if you have questions for me, I can look up the link. I think there's like a certain thing you need to do in order to honor the course on My Northeastern. So again, you can shoot me an email if you've talked to an instructor of the course and they've agreed to let you take it. Okay?
Yeah, thanks.
Yep.
No more questions? Okay, if there are no more questions, thank you very much for being here. And again, welcome to Northeastern. We will see more of you. You will see more of us, and we would be very pleased to get your feedback.